he was like, it's fine.
As soon as he recognizes the truck again, like when he's going through the videos and stuff, he'll know exactly who it is. He'll let me know. So.
All right. At least it's not cold air outside.
Getting.
Oh,
I don't even have my hearing aids in.
Oh, I'd say it like it is.
Okay, you'll pay for that.
I know.
You know those books of get backs? I wrote some of those chapters.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I can make
Jim
a
helped
copy
me.
right now.
Well, yeah.
dang.
Sounds about right.
With both my profiles.
Both your profiles.
Got thrown right in there, Mayor.
Oh, okay.
He was here early and he's dictating when we start. Man.
Fantastic. Okay, good evening, everyone. This is the Mayor's Agenda, City of Hannibal Official Council Agenda, Tuesday, April 5th, 2022, Council Chambers, City Hall, 7 p.m. I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Franke. Mayor Harp.
Here.
Councilmember Bowen.
Here.
Councilmember Welch.
Here.
Councilmember Beach. Councilmember McCoy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Here.
Okay, there being a quorum, I would call this meeting to order. Councilmember Dobson, would you do the invocation, please?
Heavenly Father, on this election day, we owe a debt of gratitude to our service people that's sacrificed and preserved our right to place our votes and have a free country. In our hearts, we plan our course, but we pray that you establish our steps. I pray that we seek you for advice. Let us not make decisions based upon what we know, but let us act based upon your wisdom. Please guide us, Lord. We place this meeting in your hands. We place our hearts and our minds in your hands so that you may direct us. Amen.
Councilmember Bowen, would you listen to the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, at this time, I would ask for a motion to excuse Councilmember Veach from this evening's proceedings.
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now requesting a motion to approve the agenda as it is posted this Tuesday, April 5th, 2022.
So move. Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion over the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Now requesting a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session of April 6, 2021, and the regularly scheduled council meeting of March 15, 2022.
Motion. Second.
And a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Now requesting motion to approve the payroll claims second half of March 2022.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion over payroll claims? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. First item up on the agenda is Henry Dexheimer with the Hannibal Early Bird Kiwanis.
So, as he said, I'm here with the Early Bird Kiwanis. We are requesting a street closure both on May 13th and September 9th. Those will be for our pork chop dinner. It will be Hill Street, east of Main Street down to the Y Men's Pavilion like we've done in years past. Sorry, directions.
It's okay.
So there, we would request no parking and a street closure for those two events.
Were you going to do a drive-through for your event?
Yes, there'll be a drive-through. There'll be limited seating as well this year. But most of it goes through the drive-through. So when we're able to have the no parking, we can get two lines down there, get some people off Main Street, and kind of streamline the traffic a little bit better.
Okay, thank you.
And council, just for your information, all the required documents are in order and insurance is on file.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Emily, thank you.
Thank you.
Here. Next on the agenda is Faye Damp with Jim's Journey Juneteenth Committee.
I'm going to do it just like she did it.
There we go.
Juneteenth Committee, many of our members are here. This is our 25th anniversary for Juneteenth here in Hannibal. We're very proud of that. We want to celebrate that as make it as big as we can. We've gotten some funding from the state to in fact make that happen, and so we're trying to plan a number of things. We, as far as the festival goes, and as far as street closures go, we're talking about a festival at Central Park. We're talking about a parade the morning of June 18th, a parade from Save-A-Lot through down Broadway, north on Main, ending at North Street, and we're looking for street closures there. And then we're looking at, I know we're going to have a car show, and so they're going to be parked, we hope, on 4th Street. We're going to have 3-on-3 basketball. That's going to be on 5th Street between Broadway and Center. And then food and vendors and kids programs, raffles, and all sorts of things to make it awesome. Street closures, I guess, is the main thing we're looking for. And then obviously we're inviting the city and the tourism group to partner with us on this. Parks and Rec is partnering with us. And but we're just trying to make this a big community unity celebration.
Mayor, I have just one question. Just to clarify, you need 4th and 5th blocked off from Center to Broadway? Okay, because in your picture, you just have 5th.
We want to park the cars someplace for folks to kind of
Right.
Google them.
Yeah, I just want to clarify because you only have one little spot circled there on your.
I know. I didn't. We didn't know if we were going to get the car show.
Gotcha.
And some of these things may change.
That's a good problem to have.
There you go.
Mayor, first of all, congratulations on your 25 years.
Well, Marcia Mayfield is here. She's the one that started that.
Raise your hand.
Celebration 25 years.
Congratulations to your group.
Where's Marcia?
And Marcia. Who's Marcia? Okay, well, congratulations. Anyway, my question is, were you going to have the car show on both days or just?
Oh, just one day.
What day?
Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday the 18th.
Okay.
They're going to be in the parade and then park.
Okay, super. Because we have a church in the area
Yes.
and have the farmer's market, on Saturday, could you put the car show up on 5th Street and do the rest of your, like your 3-on-3 basketball and everything on 4th Street, as not to interfere with the church parking?
Well, you can talk with the basketball people are here, but we're thinking that might be too slanty, or you tell, I don't
I don't
have
know
it in my
on
head.
that. Sir?
Keith and
In regards to basketball, 4th Street's not an option for us because of the slant.
Okay, all right. I was just trying to avoid conflict, so if you've looked at the street grades and doesn't work for you, answers my
The only street in
question.
the area that would suffice would probably be 5th Street. Everything
Okay.
else is just slant towards the river.
well, the other side of 5th Street though too. But the bank is open that morning, and I suspect they're going to be inconvenienced if we try to do anything
Right.
there.
Okay.
Yep. Like you said, it's a good problem to have so many things going on. The council, as far as the documentation here, looks like the police are aware of street closures and staffing of the event. From the city clerk's office, of course, it goes without saying, everyone cleans up after themselves and picks up any trash that's left behind. We'll have to have a hold harmless agreement done, and
What kind of agreement?
a hold harmless agreement just done for the park.
Oh, yeah. Did I do that?
Not yet, but that'll come at the same time when you turn in the certificate of insurance and stuff.
Now, you should have one on file.
And there may be one now. I don't know if the clerk has received it yet because she's been out. But I don't see any reason why it can't be handled pending the receiving of those documents or verification of documents. It's not. We do this all the time, and this is going to be for June 18th and 19th, so we have some flexibility and time to get it. Make sure everything's there. That's all.
Do we need to amend the application to make sure that the 4th Street's on the, also, with our motion?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the event, amending for 4th Street to be closed off also. Pending the hold harmless agreement.
Okay.
And insurance.
Oh, I thought we had that one also. Okay.
All right. Just make sure it's on.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
All right.
Just that easy.
Now, all of you realize you're invited to the events. We are going to have Senator Washington here from Jeff City. She's agreed to come and be part of the parade. We're going to have a brass band. We're going to have lots of good stuff. All of you are welcome. Mayor, I'm hoping that you'll ride in one of the cars.
I like cars, so, and if I don't have to walk,
We're going to get you a good fancy car.
if I don't have to walk, I'm all in.
Thanks, everybody.
There we go. Next on the agenda is Linda Stewart with Historic Hannibal Marketing. Good evening,
Good
Linda.
evening, Mayor and Council. We're here again to request street closure for the 29 Main that will occur on May 27th, 28th, and 29th. And so we're asking for street closure as of 4 p.m. on the 27th, which is Friday. The festival will occur on the 28th and the 29th, which is Saturday and Sunday. We have an evening security guard, which we will hire to kind of secure the vendors' booths and make sure that nobody really messes with them. And we are really, actually, we have sold more booze already this year for our street vendors than we have last year. We're pretty excited, and we have a lot of activity, free activity for people to come and enjoy. We're going to have the Cowboy College again, so there'll be roping and there'll be seed spitting contest and gold panning, and it was so much fun last year. We also will have our gunfighters again this year, so we'll have some shootouts, and there's 2 bank robberies planned per day. So
You're going to announce the
anybody
banks
come down and
prior?
get deputized.
You're going to announce the banks you're going to rob prior to the event?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, we're hoping that somebody in the audience will be our bandit again, so.
I have to ask, in light of what happened, and has been on the news, in the past about your blanks, how are those blanks handled? Yeah.
So we actually hire a group called South Fork Regulators, and they're super serious about that. So what they do is they have a secure location. Usually they're upstairs in the museum. It's so that it doesn't have any traffic, or it's kind of only for them. And they count all of their ammunition before going out, and then afterwards they come back and then they recount everything. Okay. So they need 45 minutes between their shootouts because they're really strict about their processes they go through.
Thank you.
They also have a meeting prior to that, like on the day before they do any performances on the festival, once everybody gets here, and they discuss per whatever layout, if the layout changes or whatever, they discuss their safety strategy, and they're super serious about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One other thing, I know on the application you had asked for an additional 2 years, and you and I talked about that. The HHMC is in process of working up something, so that we don't book, events up on top of events. So I guess we can assure you that, your weekend will be open, but Mayor and I discussed, and if council disagrees, chime in that we probably don't want to, approve events 2 and 3 years out because, things can always happen.
That's certainly understandable. So the 29 Main Festival has become such a large event. It is really like a really good thing. But we estimate that we attract approximately 20,000 people annually. And so as soon as the festival ends one year, we are booking entertainment for the next. Right. And we also think really, we're proud people, but we really believe in lieu of being proud of Hannibal, that our downtown is growing and that we're seeing tourism grow and that there's an additional interest in holding events in the downtown area. And we're super excited about that. At the same time, we want to make sure that we have a good standing festival here that we don't happen to overlook and overbook, so that we kind of want to just make sure that we secure our weekends.
So when the clerk comes back, we'll work with her on a calendar of events. So, like I said, before in our talks, so, somebody doesn't book a duck race or something for that
Yes.
weekend, and, so.
Or maybe they can do it with 29 Main, but
we'll
that
take
was
care
our
of it.
concern. And because we're starting to having to plan further and further in advance, and we are paying for entertainment to come or pony rides or whatever it may be, we were just trying to look for some security.
I understand.
So I feel comfortable with the fact that this has been brought to council's attention, and we just are all now aware of it. And I'm comfortable with that. One of the other things that we did request, and I just need to make sure, and maybe I'm asking for some direction, or I just want to make sure that you're aware of our concerns, is that because 29 Main has now grown to such a large festival, we are attracting a lot of people, and we are attracting a lot of people who think, or who are trying to use it as their platform maybe for making their political or religious whatever views knowledgeable. Last year we had this lady with, just as an instance, we had a lady with a megaphone who was just, yelling things up and down the street of the crowd. And the law enforcement, we would call them to come, but by the time they get through the traffic and they get through the people, then the situation wasn't resolved, just moved. And then, we had some situations with some people sleeping in the bathrooms, and so when we have a lot of tourists, of course, there were males sleeping in the women's bathroom. So if you're going into the bathroom, it's kind of a concern. And so we did ask for law enforcement, and I understand that that's not something that could be approved on this request, but I did just want to bring this to the attention of council because it does reserve as a concern for us. We're volunteers who really aren't paid to deal with these situations. And although our law enforcement is great, by the time they get down through all of the things that they have to do, then the situation's just moved. It comes back, but it's moved temporarily. So
That brings me to kind of to that issue. I want to be sure that we have emergency access to North Main from Main and Broadway. So in the event that we've got to get in from Main and Broadway,
right,
we can bring at least width of the vehicle through there. Obviously, there are going to be people, but as long as the say exhibits and things don't
get too
go
far,
out so far that you can't get a vehicle. We don't always have access to these events, and I don't want to jinx us. We haven't had to have access, but in the event we do, I'd rather make that available now than afterwards and saying, I wish we would have, should have, could have.
Yeah, well noted.
And, we can work together on those things. Council, outside of that, we just need to hold harmless and insurance. Obviously, that's, can't get the insurance on the event this far out yet, but.
Oh, no, we do. We've provided it.
You've already got it? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. Clerk in here to tell me that things have been received.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. Not throwing you under the bus. You don't deal with this. So,
It says all documents on file, Mayor.
we got them. We have them all.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So with that,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
All right, thank you,
Great,
everybody.
Thank you.
We hope to see you all down at Twain on Main. Wear your cowboy hats.
No, I've got a dandy hat.
Yeah, you
Yes, it's got sparkles on it.
Yeah.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Mark, I don't know how to say that. Maluski. Mark Maluski, 909 Center. Mark Maluski, 909 Center. Moving on, Mr. Steve Terry, Riverboat Excursions.
Good evening, and thank you for your time this evening. Come today to ask for a modification on our lease agreement, which was signed last summer. During that time, we had said that we would have our permanent power installation done by March 31st, and then our plan was to do it ourselves. A few things kept that from happening. Number one, we've changed the design somewhat. The most important thing for me personally was the fact that I decided to tear my meniscus and MCL on a vacation, and so I had knee surgery. So that took...
No more vacations.
I guess not. At least not on Delta Airlines. I don't know. But anyway, we had planned on doing it ourselves. Now, in the change that we need to make on this is we had found out that we needed to make a change in the electrical design. And I consulted our marine architects, DeJean and LeBay down in Florida, who sent me to the Bender Corporation. And Bender Corporation wholeheartedly recommended that we use the Marina Guard, which is a ground fault system that they have designed, and it's one of two systems that are approved for the ground faulting of shore power and marinas. Now, this system I found out, I was very impressed when I found out that it was used by Disney to rewire Epcot. So the system must work pretty well. It does meet all of the NEC guidelines that we have to meet with today. Now, you'll notice in the packet that I brought in with me tonight, it's the one we handed out, is an agreement with Brown Electric out of Quincy, Illinois. They are going to do the install for us. And we plan on having that started as quickly as we possibly can. There is one problem with it, and on page 2 you'll notice that on the project timeline, it has Marina Guard is parts of it come from Germany, and just like everybody else in the world, they're having supply problems. The supply chain's messed up, so they have told us that it would be 14 to 16 week lead time before we can get that piece of equipment in here to finish the install, which would bring it up to the code that is asked for. The other thing is Brown had on the ground fault system, they suggest that we put them on our own barge, okay? And that is so that when, not if, but when the river comes up over 23 feet, we can take this, our equipment goes with us and it doesn't flood. It doesn't get damaged in the flood. However, that takes the protection away from the gangway, from the bank, down to our barge. So Canton Towing has also done this, or is working towards this. We're going to move our ground faults to the meter base, which is on the riverbank. And by doing that, it'll protect the city's gangway down to our vessels. The other side is we're going to make a design change on this just a little bit so that when the water comes up over 23 feet, we can go in and we can do a few bolts and disconnect some wire, and we take it out before the water gets up and damages the meter-based boxes. So that's the basics behind this, but we have been approved and accepted by Brown Electric, and they're willing to get started on it just as soon as we possibly can. But the kink in the plan is going to be the ground fault system, which we're having to wait on parts for. So they're saying that if everything comes down the way predicted, which in this world, who knows, we hope to be done by July 29th.
Well, there's no doubt supplies are an issue for everyone. Getting things in, simple as vehicle tires, has become an issue. Mr. Bowen probably can attest to supply parts for repairs as well. So, Council, it's your pleasure.
Just, I have given a copy of what cafeteria is supplied to us through the city engineer, Mark Ross, and his firm will look it over. So at this point, I don't know what's exactly in order. We need to extend Captain Terry's contract, and I guess kind of what's in limbo is the date. I guess Brown's saying that they can have it done by the end of July. I would make a motion to extend his contract to August 31st. And if you need more time, Captain Terry, just come back to us at that time.
Mayor Pro Tem, can I ask one question? Are there any Made in America Marina Guards that we could possibly use to speed up the process, or is that the only one that's around?
There's only 2 that are approved by the NEC code, and one is the Eaton breaker, which is exceptionally more money than the Marina Guard system. Marina Guard system has been approved by many marinas and shore power connections up and down the waterways.
Right.
What really impressed me about it was I thought, well, if it's good enough for Disney, it's good enough for me. However, I don't have a Disney budget. So yeah, I had to work with that a little bit.
Sure.
Andy? Okay.
Okay.
Well then, right. Made a motion?
I did.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion as second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to carry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. Okay. City Attorney James Lemon.
Mayor, I got 2 things. I think it's just 2. The first one is a proposed franchise agreement. This is with Mid-States Natural Gas, which is DEA utilities. This would adjust the franchise fee to 5%. It would also bring the franchise agreement in line with what they have got with all of their other cities that they have franchise agreements with, standardize the contract. They drafted it. It's in line. I think it's appropriate. One thing I did not put in the documents when I drafted it that per state statute, there needs to be a 30-day delay for public comment after we first read, so that the public can have an opportunity to let us know if they have concerns or other things about the franchise agreement. So this first reading will not be followed by a second reading. That will not happen for another 30 days. There is bill number 22-0065. You're going to make me say it all over again?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Very good, James. The next item.
The other item I have is, as you know, the council had directed me to take a look at the smoking prohibited in indoor workplaces. We wanted to do an amendment that it would allow smoking in private clubs. I did make that amendment, and that's what you've got here for you tonight. It's my stab at it. Bill number 22-007 to follow.
Okay. Very good. Next item on the agenda is Lisa Peck, City Manager.
Good evening. The first thing that I have for you is the actual contract with Klinger to do the final monitoring on the Wereco site. Again, we'll be using the Petroleum Storage Tank Insurance funding in order to do that. It's their standard typical contract, and they meet the criteria deemed necessary by both the fund and the state DNR.
So shortcut to that. The Petroleum Insurance Fund is paying for that. That is no out-of-pocket to the city.
Correct. Pardon me, correct.
Okay. That'll be Resolution 2399-22 to follow. Your next item.
My next item is the actual agreement for the dock modifications with Viking. So again, they will be paying for the modifications. The project has been bid, and Andy had brought that before you last meeting, and it did come in under bid, but the way the contract is written, up to $180,000, the bid came in at $149,000, is approved. Anything after that, we have to have a conversation, but they will still pay for.
Okay. And again, no out-of-pocket to the city.
Correct.
Okay, the next item.
Let's see. Oh, my next item is, so we had taken a code amendment to just kind of clean up for the building inspector's office because the portion on metal siding was not very clear. And so the city attorney cleaned that up, and it went through planning and zoning on public hearing at March 17th meeting and was unanimously approved, and it makes it so that the siding is allowable in A and B zones, but it has to be vertical, right? Horizontal? Horizontal. Okay.
Needs to look like wood.
There you go. Okay. So that basically is the change, and it just kind of cleans it up and provides some clarity for both the public and the building inspector's office.
It's Bill 22-008 to follow. Anything else?
Yeah, but later on.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is Megan Rapp, Director of HCVB. Good evening.
Mayor and Council. I am requesting the signature of the mayor for a renewal application for the logo and tagline as a service mark of the city of Hannibal. You all know what it looks like because it's on the head of every single memo that you get. So it was originally requested in 2013, and so it just has to be renewed for 10 years.
Any questions? No. Resolution 2401-22 to follow. Megan, thank you.
Thank you.
And next item is under the Hannibal Regional Economic Development Council. However, they're presenting this evening, Lisa.
Yeah, Corey's not able to join us. So the first item that he had before you was the initial funding agreement for Horizon Rentals, which is the hotel project on the Avenue, Aswin's project. And it just sets aside the funding that's expected for the legal expenses, so that money's already kind of escrowed and then can be paid out of that. And so that's the first item.
There'll be a resolution 2402-22 to follow. Next item.
The next item is a request for a letter of support for a 2022 RAISE grant application. And this request is for the Marion-Rawls County Regional Port Authority. They're applying for funding for a proposed port development through the RAISE grant, which is a federal grant. And the port is requesting a letter of support for the grant from the city of Hannibal. They're looking and meeting, they're looking to secure and meeting with landowners. And there's two drawings that are attached in your packet as to where this would be, but it would be their West Quincy locations. And then there was sent out in the packet a draft of the letter that he would like.
For the letter of support requesting just for council support, or is that a mayor's signature?
It's council support. So,
Council support?
Yep, just everybody and then there. And I think Debbie, you have a copy of this, don't you? For them, you have a copy for them all to sign, right? You do now.
Oh,
You do now. Very good. James, do we have a motion or support on that? It's not an obligation of any.
It's not an obligation of the city, and I suppose if any councilman doesn't want to support it, they are not obligated to sign the letter.
Correct.
I think this would be in the nature of anybody else asking for the council to do something or attend or support, et cetera, et cetera. I don't believe it's necessary to do both because each individual councilman can sign or not sign as they deem appropriate.
Just one, ask a question.
I think it's always good to ask these things.
Right. Very good. Okay, next item on the agenda, Jacob Naki with Hannibal Police Department.
Good evening. I'm here tonight, we had sealed bids that were opened on March 30th as part of our ongoing radio project, as I've been here before to talk to you guys about. We actually had a situation where the items that we bid on for this project came in under budget, so there were some additional USDA funds available. As part of that, there was some other things that we hadn't anticipated when we started the project, one of them being communications for our special response team. They wear helmets and they have headsets currently that work with our current radios. They will not be compatible with the new system, so we had to look for options on that. What we found was a product that provides not only hearing protection in the event of actually having to be in a loud environment, but also a way to communicate securely over the new radio system. So with that, we received one bid on that. It was from Invisio for $13,678, and I'm asking for the council's permission to accept their bid and the funding for that to be from the USDA Rural Development Community Facilities.
We are always more than happy to help agencies spend their excess funds.
Yeah.
The USDA has been great to work with on this project. Very helpful.
Motion to approve.
Second.
The motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Before you leave, sir, I want to thank the Hannibal Police Department for their quick response. An apparent attempted robbery yesterday. Suspect was apprehended. I don't know, alleged perpetrator, but however, I want you from us to thank your department, for those officers involved, and all your officers for keeping our community safe. We appreciate you.
It's very much appreciated. We also want to thank the community on that. A lot of assistance came from the community as well, seeing things, reporting it to our officers promptly, which enabled us to make quick apprehension. So we appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is Andy Dorian, Director of Central Services.
Evening, Mayor, Council. First up, I have the 5-year capital plan. I guess I drew the short straw. I'm not very good at drawing straws. So,
You have the most stuff.
the city is required each year to submit a 5-year capital plan to planning and zoning, and for their approval, it then goes to city council for their approval. So I present the plan. I think everyone has a copy. If anybody has any questions, I can try and answer.
How long does such a thing take to redo each year? Just out of curiosity.
A very long time. So each department, submits these and then our DPW secretary has to put that packet together. So it's quite a lengthy process.
And who requires us to have this?
I
State?
think it's charter.
Yeah.
It's at least ordinance, but I think it is the charter, but I'd have to look it up.
I mean, is it a good use of time? How about that?
No.
I mean,
No, it's not. And actually, I was looking to see if I could rewrite some of that because
it's a great idea to have 5-year plans and, always have goals to shoot for, but with our staff continually decreasing, is this a good use of time? I
mean, we should have a 5-year capital plan, and this is not a good use of it. But we should have a capital plan. We also should have money that we actually can use for that capital plan because
Right.
this
is just like hopes and dreams.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Sorry, this is open discussion. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's what it is. It's a 5-year. It should be designed as a 5-year plan. It's a 5-year wish list.
Right.
Yes.
Because of our, the funding that we've had in the past. So
I guess to defend that is that, say use your department, for instance, it, lets council know your needs, going forward, for equipment and such. For the Board of Public Works, there's big projects out there that over several years that, council needs to be aware of. So I see value in it too.
So what we do, I mean, I will say this on the Parks and Recreation Department side. We call it placeholders. We have a 5-year list of placeholders that is flexible based on, we just got awarded a big grant today. So that's a project that we weren't, and it was actually not even part of the 5-year plan that jumps the head of the line because we're going to get $200,000. So that's how we kind of look at it. I think for some of the less, city clerk's office and some of the other that are more equipment based, it's an easier 5-year plan. For capital construction side of it, it's more placeholders. You never know when a bridge is going to go out or a road's going to blow up. And so a lot of times those things are added. So, but it is a good guide, I guess.
Sure.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just, I don't know.
It's just a lot.
It's a lot.
It seemed like a lot of time.
We're looking at streamlining the process.
I just did a quick look, Councilman, and it looks like it is in the charter, but it may be, just based on my quick review of the language, it may be subject to changing the way we do it. There might be some ways to get some efficiencies. I think there's a requirement that you provide a list of proposed capital improvements.
Right. I mean,
but it may
citizens
not-
should know what we're planning. I mean, that's
It may not require as much as what we're doing,
Okay.
based on looking at the charter real quick.
thanks.
Okay, Andy, your next item.
As I stated last meeting, we'll have the amendment to the state block grant, which is at this meeting. We approved the runway light project at the last council meeting. The original amendment, or the original state block grant agreement, was for the engineering portion. Every different portion of the project requires another amendment. So this is for the actual construction of the runway light project. And so we were awarded $483,002. As I had stated at last meeting, that is not going to cover everything. We have additional fundings that are coming. So there'll probably be a third amendment at some point in time to cover the rest of it. I did get a word today. The longest piece of equipment that's out is 14 weeks from now. So we're looking at later this summer. Really better than I expected. So that is a bill to follow.
Okay. Anything else, Andy?
That is it.
Council, any questions for Andy while he's here? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, that leaves us to the Director of Finance, Wes.
So I've been working with Andy. We've had a lot of turnover and we're rethinking our positions. And so we're not adding another position. We're just changing the job duties and responsibilities. So with this position, we're going to do a lot of cross-training throughout the departments. So that will help us if somebody leaves in the future. We're not scrambling to try to figure out what did that person do. So this person is going to work within the other departments to kind of cross-train and understand all the processes throughout the accounting process. Does anybody have any questions?
Makes perfect sense. I mean, we just came out of a situation of a pandemic, and there were people out at various times in different departments, and it was a challenge to find people who were cross-trained in different disciplines here. So that's,
Yeah, I hate silos. So we're going to be definitely cross-training and having, more of that. We didn't have enough advance notice in the 6 months that I'd been here before the pandemic started. But yeah.
With a small city like our small group of people that we have here, this should be beneficial. I believe it will. I think it'll help throughout the city. And I've been working with Andy. When I say streets and parks, basically it's with Andy. I see streets and parks.
well, who better to know those needs than those who do that
Yes.
job function. So I appreciate y'all's input and forward thinking.
So this will be like one current employee we already have now with this extra title, or this will be a whole new title, I guess, for them?
So it's a new title. So yes, we have an open position currently.
Okay.
So instead of hiring it back what it was,
Right.
this will be the new job
Okay,
title.
I just took it as one of our current employees. We're going to add this on, I guess.
No, we don't have a current employee. We have actually 2 openings right now. One in our offices, and then of course one in the city clerk's office.
So what we're going to do is Parks and Recreation portion of the secretary portion is going to go to Amy's position. She'll do part of the Parks and Recreation secretary, part of street department, part of this new position will also take on purchase orders. Right now, I'm doing Jessica. I found one person.
Right.
There is nobody.
Right.
This is kind of a way to have a backup payroll, have a backup purchase orders. You get that.
Yeah, I just didn't know if this was like you could be financial or fiscal management assistant also, and then Candy could, I didn't know if that was how you guys were labeling it.
Yeah, so what we had was the park secretary / fiscal.
Okay.
That position has been eliminated and it combined it.
Thanks.
Good. It'll be Bill 22-010 to follow. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, council, we have before us now Resolution 2399-22. Motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So move.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Resolution number 2399-22, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute an engineering services agreement between the city and Klinger and Associates. Councilmember Franke? Mayor Hart?
Yes.
Councilmember Bowen?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Veach? Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
I declare Resolution 2399-22 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have Resolution 2400-22. Need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
A resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement regarding dock changes between the city and Viking USA, LLC regarding dock changes on the Hannibal riverfront with terms as defined in the attached agreement. Huh?
You can just call it.
Oh, okay. Mayor Hart?
Yes.
Councilmember Bowen?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Here.
Councilmember
Yes.
McCoy?
Sorry.
Yes.
Did I do so?
No, he did.
No, I did.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Okay. Declare Resolution 2400-22 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have Resolution 2401-22. Need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
A resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute the Missouri Secretary of State's trademark and service mark renewal application of the City of Hannibal's logo and tagline, service mark number S019132. Mayor Hart?
Yes.
Councilmember Bowen?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Still here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
I declare Resolution 2401-22 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have Resolution 2402-22. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
A resolution of the City of Hannibal approving and authorizing the mayor to execute an initial funding agreement between the city and Horizon Rentals and providing further authority. Mayor Hart,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowen,
Yes.
Councilmember Welch,
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Declare Resolution 2402-22 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have Resolution 2403-22. Need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
A resolution of the City of Hannibal, Missouri approving and adopting the 5-year capital improvement program for the years 2023 to 2027. Mayor Hart,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowen,
Yes.
Councilmember Welch,
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy,
Yes.
Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Mayor.
I declare Resolution 2403-22 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have before us Bill number 22-006. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion?
Yes, this is the one that the city attorney was referencing earlier, I believe, that can't be read for another 30 days. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. That's a long one.
An ordinance granting a franchise by the City of Hannibal, County of Marion, Missouri, to Liberty Utilities, Mid-States Natural Gas Corp., DPA Liberty Utilities or Liberty, its successors. It assigns the right to furnish, sell, and distribute gas to the city and to all persons, businesses, and industries within the city, and the right to acquire, construct, install, locate, maintain, operate, and extend into, within and through said city, all facilities reasonably necessary to furnish, sell, and distribute gas to the city and to all persons, businesses, and industries within the city and in the territory adjacent thereto, and the right to make reasonable use of all streets and other public places as may be necessary, and fixing the terms and conditions thereof.
You don't have to call that. You don't have to call that.
Oh, okay, that's right.
First reading. You need a drink of water?
No, I got it.
Okay. Next, we have before us Bill number 22-007. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
An ordinance of the City of Hannibal revising Chapter 13, Article 2, smoking prohibited in indoor workplaces and public places, Section 13-27, where smoking not regulated regarding regulation of private clubs.
It's just a first reading, so no roll call is necessary on that. We have Bill number 22-008. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
An ordinance of the City of Hannibal revising Chapter 7, Article 3, Housing Code of the revised ordinances of the City of Hannibal regarding metal siding.
And we have Bill number 22-009. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So move. Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried.
An ordinance of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission amendment to the state block grant agreement, number 1, between the City of Hannibal and the Missouri Highways Commission in the amount of $483,002 for funding for the renovation of the runway 1735 lighting at the Hannibal Regional Airport.
And now we have Bill number 22-010. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
An ordinance of the City of Hannibal amending the fiscal year 2021-22 payroll ordinance, number 1, relative to the reclassification of Parks Secretary, Fiscal Assistant to Finance Fiscal and Management Assistant.
And now we have before us bill number 22-005. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
An ordinance authorizing the City of Hannibal, Missouri to enter into a ground lease with the Board of Public Works of the City of Hannibal, Missouri, and approving certain actions in connection therewith. Mayor Hark?
Yes.
Councilmember Bowen?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
I declare bill number 22-005 duly approved and adopted on this day. Council, at this time, I'm requesting going to closed session in accordance with RSMO 610.021, paragraph 1, admitting myself, council, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, and acting city engineer. And Director of Central Services, Andy Dorian.
Motion to go into a closed session.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mayor Hark?
Yes.
Councilmember Bowen?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. There's group helps and stuff. I don't know.
Go to the employee benefit
Yeah,
board.
that would be the best.
I had a couple questions for you.
I hope I have the answers.
First, how will you feel if the Prop 1 passes?
Well, I will be, to be excited would be an understatement, because for years the city has recognized capital projects that
Yeah.
were beyond
Whoever
our
wins
grasp
fourth ward will
because
change